This is a tier 5 Shayan body. With stats comparable to that of an iron plate body, this isn't really most players' armor of choice, unless they're trying to get a Dragon Warhammer. For most players though, it is quite easy to obtain. Just kill a tier 5 soldier a few times in the Shayan combat ring, and it can be yours for free. Nowadays only requiring 20 defense, in the previous armor tier. However, for anyone who doesn't have access to Shayan, they can also smith the armor, assuming they have access to Lovakite ore, coal, the Lovakite furnace or superheat, and 93 smithing. And through a series of unfortunate events, this is my current big boy goal on the account. And according to my calculations, it's going to take over 1,500 hours to complete just this one task. Mostly because my best mining option is 56 seconds away from the nearest bank. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We have a little bit of work to do before we get that far. Meet ChunkRand0m, my random 1-chunk Ironman. On this account, every time I complete my current chunk, I roll a new one completely random across the entire map of Gielinor. After starting in South Fally Farm, I quickly pit stopped at this random area west of Eagle's Peak, before finally landing in Verac, where I spent 100 hours cutting the same oak tree. My next destination is the Sulphur Mine in Kinj, which at the moment has very little to offer. But I assure you, that's going to change very quickly. Like literally 3 minutes from now. Now before I head off to Kinj, let's take a look at just what tasks I'll have to complete there. I'm sure we're in for another long list of tasks to do, and Oh, that's it? Equip a rune weapon, which just happens to be a rune pickaxe I can buy from a shop? Well, okay then. Time to get 10 attack levels so I can equip that beast of a rune weapon. And so I jumped on Twitch to stream the attack levels and chunk roll, and this resulted in 3 hours of me unaliving cows at the South Fally Farm. But progress was made, so here's 35 attack, and finally the 40 I needed. All that was left now was to run all the way to the Sulphur Mine. And to just really drive home how far away this chunk is, I'm showing this clip at 16 times speed. I have no teleports out there, so every time I want to go back to this chunk, and trust me, I will be back, I'll be running a Gielinor marathon. But finally, after 6 long minutes of mostly walking, I arrived at my destination. So there's not really much to do here right now, and I'm really only here to talk to this guy anyways. But before I leave, we might as well take a quick tour, just to be thorough. Alright, Kinj mine, or I guess the Sulphur Mine really. We got mine supervisors, Lovakite ore, coal ore, I can't really mine it anyways. Sulphur Mine, which will probably kill me if I don't get out of here very, very shortly. Not a place I really want to be. We have Toothy, who will sell me the rune pickaxe for the chunk task, and a bank chest right next to him right here. And then over here is the blast mine, the volcanic mine. I think this one's the blast mine, because of the dynamite, right? After taking a quick look around, I promptly bought my rune pickaxe, and equipped it alongside my frenemy Pokemon Pete. And thus my current chunk tasks were completed. So it was time to roll. Now let's see what fate has in store for me today. Alright guys, this is it. I've got these 4 chunks. I'm really hoping it's none of the death chunks, but who knows. Everyone please wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. Whew. Okay. Here we go. Edgeville. I'm locked to Edgeville. And with that, my fate for the foreseeable future was sealed, and I had officially rolled my very first death chunk on the account. Let's go see what Edgeville has to offer. Oh, Edgeville. My first death chunk on the account. There's so much to do here. I'm going to be here forever. But on the bright side, there are guards, so that'll be finally a task for people who've been asking for that for two chunks. Crystalia? Really bad with names, but that's for Wilderness Slayer, which I'm not really worried about right now. Over here is Richard, who I think sells the team capes, if I recall. Yeah, we got blue ones, red ones, pink ones. Probably a pink one for the fashion scape. Should match my outfit. Nice, right? Yeah. over here we got some men. And there's a general store in Edgeville, which, like, genuinely I forgot existed. I don't think I've ever even stepped foot in this general store for, like, any reason. Purdue. Like, if you're not an Ironman, why would you even come in here? I don't know. Weird. Got Evil Bob's house here with Doris, his mom, one of the MILFs of Runescape. Let me know if you want to see a MILFs of Runescape tier list. I'd be happy to do one of those, by the way. Yeah, this bank is really nice. Like, I like this little winded section. It'd be really cool to, like, sit down in one of those chairs and just, like, hang out there. It's a cool little addition, I think. Here, yew tree. Yeah, yew trees, Marley. These are nettles, yeah. I mean, there's not too much here. I'll be cutting yew trees a little bit while I'm here, but not too much. But down this trapdoor is where the real magic happens. I'll be here for a long time. And over there's the wilderness gate, which I will not be going through right now, but I will have to spend a lot of time there later on. We're going to go to Vonica here, get a task done, get our first task, and see if we can do it. Hill Giants? Yeah, okay. What are the odds that I'm in the task with the Hill Giant boss, and I get a Hill Giant task that I could actually do? I was kind of hoping I'd be Slayer locked right off the get-go, but this would be good for the account, I guess. Like, get some Slayer levels out of the way. I mean, this is my little slice of hell in the chunk. I'm gonna be for a long, long, long time in this mine, and it's so far away from a bank. And otherwise, it's just skeletons, zombies, hobgoblins. The hobgoblins giving me a really awful task, as we'll see later on down the line. But here's the Hill Giants, and somewhere in here is Obor, who I've never actually fought in RuneScape before. He's like a gay... Yeah, right there. I've literally never fought Obor, so I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. I have a back way out here, but I think we need a key, yeah. The key should be like down right here by the giants. Yeah, brass key right there. That's it. Alright, we'll get a Waka Canoe made here, because the Waka Canoe is also a task. So weird, like, I always love that you can ride a log. It's just, like, it's hilarious to me. The other ones make sense, but the log? But yeah, make a Waka Canoe. And chunk task complete. Or a diary task complete. So we'll pop that out there. Yeah, we have access to Lumbridge, Champions Guild, Barbarian Village, like a couple other places we can go to for traveling later on, which will be nice and useful. I think I'm just going to leave this canoe here. I'm not sure how long it'll stay in the water, though. Alright, so Rolling Edgeville gave me 192 tasks to complete with my current rule set. I'm not going to go through every single one of them since a lot of them are drop tables, but feel free to take a look at my map code to see the full list and current progress if you're interested. So while I get started on drop tables and some much needed combat experience, let's talk about the main tasks I need to complete to leave Edgeville. So here are the medium boy grinds. I need to get 50 attack to wield a leaf-bladed spear. I'm just going to leave an asterisk by that for now, but we'll come back to why in a second. I need 75 magic to enchant and wield an enchanted slayer staff, 70 mining to mine adamantite ore, which won't be a problem at all. Trust me. 61 range to wield broad bolts, 60 slayer to equip a nose peg, 30 strength to wield an adamant warhammer, and 40 thieving to pickpocket a guard. Yes, I finally have this as a task. Rejoice. As for my best in slot gear, I need a whole smorgasbord of items. My melee setup will look something like this when I'm done. My range setup like this. And my magic setup like this. I also have 2 prayer best in slots, being an Addy Mace and a Witchwood Icon. All the items and tasks that have asterisks, however, are subject to change because they all require Slayer levels to equip. My current Slayer level is 9, and while I have a doable task at the moment, I could get locked out of Slayer at any time. So we'll have to see just how many of those tasks may need to be backlogged until I can do more Slayer, but I'm not counting them out just yet. As far as diaries go, I need to place a Scarecrow in the South Fally patch, mine some Sulfur and Loverkite, get a Slayer task from Vonica, make a Waka Canoe near Edgeville, collect 5 red spider eggs from the wilderness and equip an team cape in the wilderness, and talk to the emblem trader in Edgeville. Man, that's a lot of stuff. Now for the big boy grinds, and I'm talking really big boy grinds. In this chunk, I have 3 grinds that are going to take up most of my time here. I have to green log Obor, which will require at least 15,000 hill giant kills if I go on raid. But that's fine, because I need a curved bone from them anyways. And also, don't forget that I cannot get champion scrolls just yet, so that's not a task at the moment. Next, I'll somehow have to gather 5 million GP to set my respawn here. I'm hoping that Obor is going to fund the bulk of that, to be honest, but if not, it's okay, because my biggest grind in Edgeville should probably be able to help me with that as well. I have to get 93 smithing to smith a, you guessed it, tier 5 Shayan body, solely because I rolled the sulfur mine chunk before this. More on this grind later, but just know that it's at least a 1,500 hour grind, as I said in the intro. Alright, so with the board mobs out of the way, here's the loot. I'll just pop them up on screen somewhere so you can see it. It's nothing really too worthwhile outside of the herbs, but I did get 10 more attack levels and some HP levels while doing that, which is pretty cool. I also attempted a few hobgoblins, but the level 42s were giving it to me real hard. And they didn't even buy me dinner first. So I figured I would head over to the wilderness and make use of some useful mechanics that some of the mobs there have. I just really wish it wasn't in the wilderness. I feel like I always die when I go there, regardless of what I'm doing. But on the bright side, I'll be like level 5 or 6 wildy for most of my time there, and I'm low combat level, so it should be fine. Oh, come on, I just walked through the door! Are you kidding me? Now these thugs are actually really useful because they are low level, have decent HP, they drop things like herbs and runes and things like that, but also they're aggressive to players of all levels, so it's like super AFK. Now while I'm here, I'm not going to be picking up like any of the bones, I just don't need them. There's a lot of big bones in my future, I'm going to use those for my prayer levels. So I'll be focused on like the other drops, like the steel axe. You know, not bad, I can sell it for some money. And, oh man, there's a bot. There are so many bots that come through here, it's ridiculous. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to do some training here, get some combat levels up and things like that. So, see how it goes. And it wasn't long until I saw the results of my thug training as I hit 43 defense, giving me 600 total levels. And shortly after that, I just managed to squeeze out 45 defense as I completed the drop table here. So it was time to move on. But something had been made abundantly clear while I was here. I needed better armor, and I needed it quick. These guys didn't hit very much, just enough to be annoying, but some of the other mobs in this dungeon were going to definitely hit me much harder. And my best food option at the moment is scrambled eggs. And to be honest with you, after making nearly 5,000 of them to escape Verac, I just really didn't fancy doing it anymore if I didn't have to. And so I headed over to Aubrey to stock up on some mine and water runes. I needed some magic levels anyway, so potentially enchant a Slayer's staff if I managed to make it that far in my Slayer grind. So I thought I'd target the creature that could give me some major upgrades, and use its weakness to water spells to my benefit. And of course I'm talking about black demons, and I could kill them with basically no effort from afar. All I needed to do was find a safe spot, which was going to be super easy. Alright skeleton, stop that, that's really annoying. Get away. Alright, I did not look up a safe spot before I came here, which is probably a really bad choice on my part. But I'm going to kind of just like wing it and see how it works out. So yeah, let's cast a water strike on these guys and just kind of see what happens. Probably going to pull me out, I would think. Yeah. What's he going to do? Okay, it doesn't seem like he's going to path to me, which is nice, I guess. Although I feel like he could really squeeze between these pillars if he wanted to. He's just not pathing there right now. Damage output's really good though. I'm really happy with the damage output for sure. But I do think that this is probably not going to be a good spot to stay around in. Especially if he keeps moving back like that, he's going to pull me out for sure. I'll come back here. Yeah. Yeah, I figured it. Ooh, watch out. Watch out. Yeah, okay, I'm going to need to do like a quick Google search and find like an actual save spot for this. Oh, man. So, did a quick Google search, found the save spot, and this is it. I don't know if this is like the best save spot I could have found. I feel like I could get pulled out to the left here if I really... If the guy backs up or like runs away from my strikes, which he's probably going to do. Ooh, 35 magic. But you know, it's better than what it was. Ooh, an adamantite bar. It's like a drop in the bucket, but it's nice to... Oh, how? Okay. 13. A big 13. Oh, get back. Oh, man. Okay. I need to pay more attention. My clicks. Alright, 40 magic here, so making some good progress. And I am slowly starting to run out of runes, so this will probably be the last kill of this trip. And then we'll have to go do another rune run and head back down here. Drop a quick thank you there in the chat. But, yeah, making good progress. We'll see what this guy gives us here. Maybe something good. And it is a black sword. Yeah, worthless. Wonderful. Thank you so much, buddy. Alright, I'm going to use these runes up here, and then we'll do a quick rune run and get back to killing. So here I am in Aubrey, with the rest of the money I have in my account. It's these 3,800 coins, that's all I have left. I do have the 30,000 oak bows that I could sell if I really wanted to, but I'm really just tired of like world hopping. I don't feel like doing it right now. I've already sold 10,000 that way, it's enough. But this is a good bit. 2,000 of each should be enough to get me some good kills, and hopefully we can get some rare drops for my melee. Like some of like the rune armor would be really, really nice for upgrades and things like that, but it's all RNG. See what happens. And a big drop, the rune med helm. So that's definitely an upgrade over my Addy full helm, which is awesome to have. I could use a couple more of those for some high alking so I can get some more money. But can't be mad that I have at least one of them. Be a really good upgrade to have here. Yeah. Man, I'm excited about that. But I am getting pulled out in this save spot, so I might need to find another one, I think. And here it is. So this is the best save spot I could find. I did some more digging, and I haven't had really any problems here. Another stupid bot. Yeah, we're making good progress. So we're about to hit 45 magic. There it is. So use the rest of these runes up and keep on going. 50 HP. That's a huge level, honestly, for the account. I'm going to really need every level I can get when I go to fight Obor and some of the other mobs in the dungeon. So, yeah, awesome. I don't think I'm going to have quite enough runes to get to 50 magic, but we're going to see how close I get. And then I think it's time for like a change of scenery, a change of pace, because I've been down in this dungeon for like way too long. Alright, I got 7 casts left, 6 casts left here. And I'm not going to kill this guy, but, you know, we'll use the runes up, get the experience. And check and kind of see where we're at. Obviously, I didn't make it to 50, as I said, but 47 is pretty good. You know, 417 away from level 48. That's pretty good. That's some good progress. But, alright, that's it. I'm tapped out. So let's run back up to the bank. There's another bot, of course. We're up to the bank, and I'm going to do a bit of prayer trading. I killed enough of these guys and collected all the ashes, so we'll kind of just breeze through some prayer and see how close we can get to level 30 prayer, I think. Alright, 103 ashes, 23 prayer, halfway to 24, give or take, so let's see how close we get to 30. Last couple here. Alright, we did not quite make it to 30, but we're close. We're at 29. 159 XP to get there, so yeah. But like I said, we have a lot of big bones in the future coming to the account, so we'll get some prayer levels down the road for sure. But with that, I think I'm due for like a vacation from all this dungeoneering, so let's go and head somewhere else for a bit. So with that, I'm taking a break to do some farming. This might seem like it's detracting from my grinds in Edgeville, but these potatoes are going to be absolutely crucial for food when I finally go to fight Obor. I'm only going to have a limited amount of them, so I'll have to be very careful with how they're used. But I'm hoping to have at least a few hundred egg potatoes by that point. Alright, that's all the potatoes planted and harvested that I had. I'll keep coming back every now and then and working on some farming when I get more seeds. But for now, I am the proud owner of level 20 farming. Break time over. Alright, so I'm back in Edgeville and about to get back to breathing in that stale dungeon air, but I'm also feeling refreshed after visiting the countryside. And I'm also kind of feeling myself with my new helmet. So I decided to jump right in and kill the most intense enemy I've fought yet, while at the same time completing a diary task. Okay, that was a stretch. But in my defense, I just didn't have a good segue planned. Anyways, I'm now wrapping up my combat training for this video by smacking around a few Chaos Druids. These dudes are basically just glass squirt guns. I can like literally walk away and make a coffee and check in on my son, and not have to worry about anything happening. And they're also aggressive to players no matter the level again. They also drop herbs, runes, and bolts and things like that, so I'm going to grind out some of their drops and get a few more levels because after that, the death grind begins, and to be honest with you, I'm just really trying my hardest to put it off. So here's 50 defense. As well as 40 strength and 58 combat. Not bad. Finally, we have 45 strength. And man, those levels flew by, to be honest. But alright, as much as I would rather stay here and kill these guys, or troll bots coming in here to enchant their orbs, I really need to get started on the mining and smithing extravaganza, because this death chunk isn't going anywhere until I do. I'm on record in a lot of places saying that I enjoy mining in this game, but I may have to flip-flop on that by the time I make this body. 56. Now that number might not mean a lot to you, but to me it's the stuff of nightmares. It takes 56 seconds for me to run from the Edgeville bank all the way to the Edgeville dungeon mine. 56 seconds. And that's only if I have run energy, which I won't have most of the time. Now I'll basically be living down in this mine for a large chunk of the rest of the year 2025, so let's take a minute to talk about this death grind. Because of my random rolling, I somehow managed to roll the sulfur mine chunk, which as I said at the beginning of this video, had basically nothing to offer at that point. But here in Edgeville there's a furnace, which unlocks smelting for me as long as I have some ores I can mine to train it, which I do as you can see right now. So because I have access to Lovakite ores that I can mine to level my mining skill, a furnace to smelt them, and the ability to cast Super Smelt, which is the only way to make Lovakite stuff outside of the special furnace in Lovakinj, which I don't have access to, I now have a 93 smithing grind to make a tier 5 Shayan body. By the way, for some reason the tier 1 through tier 4 is called a plate body, but the tier 5 is randomly just a body. Weird choice, Jagex. Now I do have access to many different ores, including mithril, addy, and coal. But mithril and addy take so long to mine that they would actually be slower than mining a lower level ore like iron, which leaves me with two actually viable choices, iron or steel bars. Now before you jump in my comments and tell me that iron is the way to go because coal takes too long, let me remind you, 56. Because of the 56-second run to get down here to the mine, and also to get back to the bank, each ore run takes quite a lot longer than you would actually think. In the sulfur mine chunk, I have a bank chest right by the coal, so it's not quite as clear cut as you think. But let's talk numbers. To get to 93 smithing, I need either 190,000 iron bars, which means about 380,000 iron ore because of the 50% success rate, or I need 130,000 steel bars, which is 130,000 iron ore and 260,000 coal ore for a total of 390,000 ore. By my calculations, it's going to take at least 1,500 hours to do either of those and smith the bars. Although it's probably more than that, if I had to guess. Feel free to leave your thoughts and insights in the comments down below, but I'll be testing the two methods out in a future episode once I have a much higher mining level to help with the coal mining. And speaking of getting a higher mining level, I just breezed through the early mining and hit iron ore level. So let's get to some grinding. One evening as the sun went down and ChunkRand0m was grinding, towards a trapdoor he came a-walking, and he said, "Boys, let's go mining. I'm heading for a mine that's far away, beside that hill giant cave. So come with me, we'll go and see the Edgeville dungeon mine. In the Edgeville dungeon mine, there's a lot of ores to find. There's iron and coal will bless your soul. The addy takes time to mine. Where the closest bank is far away, and the run takes all damn day. Oh, I'm settling in for a long-ass grind, mining 400,000 ore of iron in the Edgeville dungeon mine. And through the power of song, I've reached level 60 mining, and I can now enter the mining guild. Although I'll probably never roll that area, if we're being honest. However, Child Grace would be very happy with me right now, because that was one of the many goals that he always wanted to achieve and never did as a kid. I'm now well over 10,000 iron into this grind, and I have to say, this grind is a frickin' hellscape. So I brought all of you in to pull back the curtain a little bit and show you just why this grind is so insufferable. So we start off at the bank, of course. We run down here. It takes 56 seconds. We've covered this already. And then I mine a full inventory of iron, which doesn't take too long, to be honest. Now, I do have this book of knowledge down here in my inventory that I've been keeping for a while to kind of show you what I'm doing with my lamps and my books. And I'm using them on crafting, because I'm hoping to get 10 crafting to make a bowstring later down the line, to make a U short bow, to improve my ranged output once we get around to using more range. So once my inventory is full, we run all the way over here. You know, by then I usually have a little bit of run energy, but not too much, because again I have level 3 agility and it's not really doing me any favors. So I run all the way over here to the gate into the wilderness. And you'll notice that I'm using my loot bag because that'll help me expand my inventory, which makes this trip slightly more bearable. This whole grind is slightly more bearable. If I didn't have that, I don't know what I would do. Now, once I get here, I run in and I try to put all my stuff in my bag. Usually this thug attacks me, so it takes me several tries. But once I get it in there, you know, we're good to go. I walk back out and make my way back over. It's about 25 seconds both ways, I would say. And then we head back to the mine, of course, where we get another full inventory for a total of 54 iron ore per trip. And with each trip taking about 8 or 9 minutes, you start to get the idea of why this grind takes so long and why it's going to be so awful for me in the future. But, you know, it's the hand we were dealt, so we're going to just do what we can. I wish this iron ore was closer to the bank, but it's not. But with this rock right here, we hit 65 mining. So we're making some decent progress. It's just very slow. And wow, I can now mine Lovakite. Wonderful. I'm so happy to have that option in my life. Alright, this is my final mining trip for now. I'm ready to take a break from this grind for sure, but I have made quite a dent in the mining and smithing grind, I'd say. This inventory puts me just over 18,000, which is more iron ore than I thought I would ever mine and bank in my life. Gotta love Edgeville. To blow some mind numbness off, I'll be gearing up in my ranged vest, which is basically a studded t-shirt and pants from Hot Topic, to begin training my ranged and grinding for Obor. He will be the main focus of the next video. Now, because of the sheer number of things left to do in this chunk, I expect the next video to come out around the end of May, to allow myself to make some decent progress to show off to you guys. But don't worry, to fill that time void, I have a new series coming, and the first video from that series is coming next week. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's going to be very chaotic. And you, my viewers, will be able to directly interact with how that series progresses. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it, because all of you hold the power in that new series. But as I slowly, ever so slowly kill this giant in embarrassing fashion, that's going to do it for today, everyone. I made some great headway into this chunk, but I have a long road ahead of me, so I'm going to get grinding. I'll be on World 343 and probably hanging out with the hill giants for the foreseeable future. So feel free to come ease my pain. Bye.